Here we are back with another edition of Your Palm Beach Guide. I'm Doug Evans. I'm the president and CEO of the Palm Beach Chamber of Commerce, where it's always a sunny day, believe it or not. You might see in the news that it's not always sunshine, but trust me, head of the Chamber of Commerce, it's always a good time to be in Palm Beach. I'll take one rainy day in Palm Beach versus 10 sunny days anywhere else. Just how much I love it. With me today is Greg Etimos. Greg is a board member of the Palm Beach Chamber of Commerce. He's actually the secretary of the board of directors, and Greg has had a wonderful circuitous path to this position on the board because many years ago, being the young man that he is, he started was one of the founders.
Yes, I helped coordinate, I should say.
Well,
yes.
I think you did more than that, but that's okay. We'll go with that. Greg helped found the Palm Beach Young Professionals, which numbers about 200 now. And these are people who are young professionals of the community from age 21, 22 up to age 40. And at age 40, you kind of age out, but we're not hard and fast on that. But it was a brilliant stroke of genius and luck on Greg's part to get this going with some other people. So Greg is also, his primary occupational life is insurance.
Yes, sir.
And it's all kinds of insurance. And in full disclosure, Greg's agency handles the insurance for the Chamber of Commerce and does it beautifully because in Florida we have hurricanes. In Florida we have floods, which we've been seeing, depending on when you hear the drop on this Populi broadcast, there are lots of floods in New York City this week. The subways were a mess, the terrible tragedies in Texas. But Greg, let's talk, before we talk about the Chamber of Commerce and the young professionals, the Florida insurance market, you're the expert in the field. And it seems to be a difficult place to get insurance for your homes and for your property. Is it still the case?
Very much so. Well, it's softened a touch. Fingers crossed. We still have to make it through another storm season. We're in the middle of one already. But it's not just property. Liability has become an issue as well. I mean, we have, I'm sure as everyone sees, a whole heck of a lot of billboards for attorneys up and down 95. Again, there's a purpose and reason for that. But insurance in Florida stems not just from a difficulty in obtaining property insurance, say for buying a new home or and as an older home ages, and then certain carriers don't want to be on that anymore. It does limit available options for a lot of people. But liability is becoming an issue as well. It's more difficult to obtain an umbrella. A lot of a well-rounded portfolio for many people will have your home, your auto, maybe a watercraft, recreational vehicle, but the umbrella is an important part of that. It gives you higher limits of liability coverage. That now there's limited carriers willing to step on board and take an umbrella, or they're requiring higher underlying limits. For example, the auto policy that you have, an umbrella typically required $250,000 per person,
right,
and $500,000 per accident in the underlying auto policy. That usually allowed you to be accepted by then the umbrella carrier. Now some umbrella carriers are moving that to $500,000 combined single limits.
Wow.
So that would increase the cost of your auto insurance before you even get to paying for your umbrella, which is very important. People should have an umbrella policy, but that...
Is this driven because people don't have insurance?
It's driven because we're one of the most litigious states in the country.
I thought the Florida legislature fixed that a couple years ago.
They've made some improvements, and I think that's actually kind of where we've seen a little bit of help in the property market. That has helped, again, bring premiums down a touch. Fingers crossed again. It's one of those things where I have seen renewals come in over the course of 6 months that finally have either plateaued or stopped going up, of course, or even a little bit of a decrease in premiums. But again, it's the liability, a kind of different animal. It's real easy to sue someone in Florida, so that does increase cost. Auto, for example, we have very low minimum required limits. So our state minimums are $10,000, $20,000. And then the personal injury protection on that policy is $10,000. So, that's PIP, no fault. You blow through the $10,000 coverage really quickly, then you have to go after someone. And that's where some lawsuits come in.
Yeah, I noticed my homeowner's insurance this year remained flat. It didn't go up.
Fantastic.
I was shocked by the whole thing. But then, of course, I sold my place, which is fine, and I was trying to get renter's insurance on the property that I'm in, and because I'm so close to the water, they declined me.
Yes.
It's interesting, the whole dynamics of all of this. With the whole litigious, the liability, I realize that Florida is one of the most litigious states in the country. I'm not quite sure why we are. You would think that with the manana kind of like we're kind of low-key and kind of like look for things for tomorrow. it's the Sunshine State, and we'd all should be happy here. That continues to surprise me. And I do see all the billboards on Interstate 95 of all these law firms and all the TV commercials. And I thought all that was literally going to go away. I thought it was going to go away, but clearly it hasn't.
No, so there was, and forgive me, I'm not an attorney, but I believe one of the bigger changes was the one-way attorney fees. It kind of changed, of course, how settlements could take place. If you disagreed with what the carrier was going to pay out, of course, then now you're dealing with a public adjuster, get the attorneys involved and all. And if you won more than what that original settlement was, I believe previously, then the carrier would have to pick up all the costs, including the attorney fees. So they've changed that where it's a little bit more difficult there's a little more risk for someone that's trying to just get a few extra dollars out of the carrier. Now, again, I should take a step back. This is good and bad. I mean, there is a reason why personal injury attorneys or public adjusters are very helpful in many cases. I'm not arguing that because there are times where carriers don't want to pay out as maybe what they should. Again, we all pay for our insurance premiums, and
we do.
If we need to use it, we expect the carrier to step up. So there were issues there in the settlements of those claims. Which kind of got out of hand on the carrier side, extra losses because of all the attorney fees. So they were trying to battle that a little bit. That's the litigious side of things on top of part of the reason where property losses started skyrocketing years ago. We had a thing for quite a while, and this was one of the major changes in legislations as well, was assignment of benefits. So let's say your house, you experienced a loss in your house, and a contractor came in and said, hey, this is a problem. I know you're dealing with a lot. Sign this piece of paper and I'll handle everything for you. Well, for quite a while, unfortunately, we have bad actors. Not everyone, of course. There's a lot of fantastic, people to work with, but there were people that took advantage. And in that situation, they would double, triple their labor material rates. And for quite a while, the carriers had no defense for that.
Interesting. So when I look at the insurance company of last resort in Florida is called Citizens, which is the state of Florida, correct? Basically,
it's not owned by the state. It's just the last stop.
But I'm also seeing on the news that more insurance companies are now coming back into Florida.
Yes.
And why is that? Why all of a sudden are they coming back in? Has something changed to make them want to write policies again in Florida? I'm just kind of curious as to why all of a sudden people are coming back.
Well, I think that's the benefits of some of the changes that have been made, but it only goes for so long. There are the higher tier carriers, the Chubbs, the Pures, the AIGs of the world. They're difficult to fit a client in down here.
Okay.
They have eligibility requirements, whether that's $1 million for the dwelling up to 2.5. Some have $3 million plus for the actual replacement cost of the home. Now that's not market value, so that's different with
replacement
insurance.
Yes.
And then the eligibility of they would want your home, your auto, your boat, the umbrella, the full package, and it's a little bit more difficult we have, of course, a lot of people that fit into that world.
Sure.
But we also have people buying their first homes, and sometimes they can't maybe build brand new. They're buying a home and fixing it up, but maybe that's a 1980 type home, and that's become very, very expensive to insure. Carriers that are coming in are really interested in the newer homes. It's very easy to insure a new development type home.
Brand new construction with hurricane windows and concrete and
codes up to date.
All brand new stuff.
Yes. So that's easy. All the carriers want to do that. And that's an easy thing to find in the standard market. But you'd be surprised. Actually, last time I checked it, our state average premium wise across the entire state is $5,500.
Really?
Oh, yes.
That's wild.
That's including middle of the state homes.
That's amazing.
Which is expensive.
It's very expensive. I pay like $1,000 a year, basically, and my car insurance coverage is pretty good also. So I'm very fortunate. I don't know how I've gotten lucky on this, but I've been good at this because you and I talk insurance all the time when things come up like this. So you have an agency, correct? And what's the name of your agency?
Brewster, Allen, Wichert, Inc. So my father bought in about 40 years ago, really kind of then grew the business up in New York, Jersey area, Connecticut, that kind of tri-state, and then I had the opportunity to expand it to Florida.
So you've got offices in New York.
Headquarters up in New York, West Islip, Long Island.
Nice.
And then we get to, technology being a beautiful thing. I have a virtual office down here. I get to work from home as well. So that's it helps.
And what kind of insurances do you offer?
So mostly it falls under property and casualty.
Okay.
So that's property, of course, casualty being the liability side, but it's personal and commercial risk. So I do, build out those portfolios for, again, clients from just starting to high net worth, I like to say. And then, of course, that allows me to help with their commercial risk. They may be that person owns a dental practice or commercial buildings, commercial properties and all. Kind of a wide range there, actually. So it's nice to be able to have a lot of opportunity to assist clients.
And if you're a nonprofit organization listening, you also can handle directors and officers liability insurance,
There's your
correct?
liability, yes.
Okay, so you do have the liability.
So that's the liability type exposure. Nonprofits, of course, board of directors, as you serve on as a board member, your individual liability is.
Yeah, I mean, I won't volunteer for a nonprofit organization if there's no directors and officers liability insurance, because you talk about Florida being litigious, and whether it's an upset employee, whether it's somebody's tripped and fall or whatever it is, I just won't do it. I hope that as people are listening out there, if you don't know what directors and officers liability is, and you volunteer for your Girl Scout board of directors or something, you need to make sure you have it. And I'm one of those people who firmly believe in it. It's one of the first things I ask when I'm asked to go on a board of directors. So, Brewster, Allen, Wichert. All right, Bruce, and so you can look it up.
May I make one more note on that D&O, which is really, really important?
Absolutely.
All right. Typically, in a D&O policy, of course, you have the protection of, God forbid, misuse of funds. That's kind of, right. That's a big exposure. But actually, one of the larger ones, a properly written D&O policy, is going to have 3 layers. You're going to have the D&O layer, you have EPLI, employment practices liability, which is major, and then fiduciary liability at the bottom. But let me point on the EPLI. That's hiring and practicing type discrimination and all, and that is becoming a very, very common lawsuit. It can be as simple as, I don't agree with you fire someone, one of your employees, and they say you discriminated against me. Well, there's likely an attorney that
pick that up and do that. But Florida's a right to work state, though, correct? So it's there's no guarantees here, basically.
It's pretty simple to again there's.
And I'm not an attorney. I'm not
an attorney. But the point being, though, is that a part of buying any insurance policy, especially liability policy, is you're buying a defense. So even if it's frivolous, so maybe you were firing someone because they just were not a great worker, not a great employee, and they needed to
wasn't working
out, but they claim discrimination, harassment or something like that. Even if it's frivolous, we have a defense. That's the purpose.
Interesting. Well, we've all got to make sure we have coverage. That's for sure.
Sure.
Shifting over to the Chamber of Commerce.
Yes.
You've been involved for how many years now?
Really ever since I got started with insurance down here, so pushing about 10 years or so now.
10 years.
At least, yeah. That was one of the first things I did. Expanding the business to Florida into how do I get involved in the community? How do I meet people? I'm not, my previous thing was a golfing adventure, and which
still golfing.
I tried to, but the ball didn't go in the hole fast enough when I really wanted to try it. And when we expanded with the business, how do you grow a network? And one of the things actually, which not as strong up in Long Island, was Chamber of Commerce's. And I stumbled upon the Palm Beach Chamber of Commerce, found a young professional event that was being held at Moss and Hoffman.
On Worth Avenue, nice.
Yes. And I remember walking in and meeting the old team members of the chamber and saying, hi, I'm brand new, and how do I get involved? And everyone was so welcoming. It really felt comforting to be able to walk into a room that I knew no one.
Sure.
And we had people there that said, oh, you meet this person, meet that person, let me introduce you to these people. And it was very helpful.
And so how'd you get involved with the young professionals? Were you were not quite thinking I cannot hang out with the old people yet, or it's just a good idea, basically?
I thought it was a great idea for meeting friends, meeting new people, of course, growing the network. But, about maybe 2 or 3 young professional events in, because I did that first one, signed up. And then about maybe 2 or 3 in, I remember speaking with Ashley Berry at the time, was was the everything person.
One person.
And I don't want to. There were other people involved, of course, that had a huge help in the development of the young professionals program. But I remember walking up and asking, hey, how can I get more involved? And then I found out there's actually a committee for the young professionals. And it ended up being a few months later, there was an open position. And that's actually how I got started on the board for the young professionals.
Well, interesting. I was at a dinner last night talking about the chamber with some folks and talking about the young professionals. And this business people I was with last night, one of their colleagues, team members, is a new young professional.
Wonderful.
And is getting so much out of it. The connections that he's making with other people his age, and they're actually doing things together and plans together. They're social, but they're doing business things together.
That's fantastic.
And it's growing. And I think sometimes people think when you go to these things, it's just all about drinking and social. Well, that's part of it.
Sure.
But, we are intentional at the Chamber of making sure that if you want to connect with somebody or need to know somebody, we do it. I use the word intentional because if somebody calls me or calls Kiana or somebody else on the team and says, I need to know somebody in the insurance industry, who should I talk to? Well, you see, we do it all the time. It's
Sure, definitely.
There's Greg, go call Greg Etimos, and he might be the right one, might not be the right one, but at least it's a connection. And I think that that's what we're supposed to be doing on a daily basis, number one. Number two, I think that the young professionals are great at convening. I call us a convener. Bring people together to give them an opportunity, like you did when you walked into Mouse and Hoffman on Worth Avenue, to meet people, to start to have a social circle, a business circle, and a life.
Yes.
Life in Palm Beach. So have you found it beneficial kind of all the way around through the young professionals? And then what happened? Something happened in this trajectory, in this journey that you went from the young professionals and then you ended up on the board. And how did that happen?
Again, just learning, growing relationships with the people of the chamber. I think then my time started to run out on the Young Professionals Board and got to pass that along. And on to the new committee and everything that they've been doing. They've done so much more than I did. They are fantastic, and how that's grown in the last about 5 years, I think it's been, since I was off that board. And then I was just, again, I didn't want to just leave, and were asked if there was an opportunity to serve on the board of directors for the chamber itself. And luckily there was an opening, and it seems like people don't completely hate me. So
no, I don't think so. I don't think they hate
I try
you,
to do my best when I can, and it was a great opportunity to be able to stay involved with the chamber.
Well, it's a fun organization. If you're just kind of dropping in now to our podcast, you're listening to Your Palm Beach Guide. I'm Doug Evans. I'm the president and CEO of the Palm Beach Chamber of Commerce. I'm here with Greg Etimos, who is a board member extraordinaire, secretary of the board of directors of the Chamber of Commerce, one of the architects of the Young Professionals Program, and a real pro in the insurance business. So, Greg, with the time and talent and treasure you've invested with the Chamber of Commerce, do you, and I know what you're going to say because I know you so well, it's been a good investment for your business, I hope.
Sure. And you get out of it what you put into it. I mean, It's very, if you simply just sign up and don't attend the socials, the breakfasts, there's events every month. It would be, that's just up to the individual person. If you sign up and don't sign up then for anything else, you might not find a return on that investment. But it's as simple as going to the events, trying to be a little bit, even if you're an introvert, and I feel like sometimes I am, but just everyone is so nice within the community, and especially the members of the chamber, yourself, Kiana, Gabby, everyone that we know, we're here to help. So really, if you are looking to grow that network, it can be done very successfully here. You just got to put that little bit of effort in.
Well, like you said, you get out of it what you put into it. And if you don't show up, then you just pay your dues and nothing's going to happen. And what I think is nice about this is, we've got the breakfast to the breakers, which there's 10 of those per year, which is, and the speakers that we have now are par excellence. They're beyond amazing. And we're getting ready to announce for the 2026 year, the speakers who they're going to be, and it's like prime ministers of countries.
Wow.
We're talking really access to people that you would not get to otherwise. And we are putting that pressure on ourselves to deliver an even higher expectation because we do have the Palm Beach brand. And Palm Beach, is now the geopolitical center of the universe, whether people like it or not, with the winter White House here, which it is. So many people are coming here. There's lots of ambassadors coming to town who are looking for access, of course, to the President of the United States, which they're having meetings here. You'll see on the news, on the national news, I see the same national news that you do. People fly in from around the world. They land here at Palm Beach International Airport, and they have meetings at Mar-a-Lago. Well, they also want to get involved in the local community, which means the Chamber of Commerce. So we're seeing a lot more of that. I've had lunches with 2 or 3 different ambassadors the last couple of months who want to know more about the community. And it's fascinating because it's more than just access to the Wichert White House. They want to know what the business opportunities are here in Palm Beach County, which is one of the fastest growing counties in the United States.
Opportunities.
It's not incremental anymore. It's exponential. The businesses that are booming here, and hopefully for somebody like you who is a business owner, that's going to create more opportunity for you. On a daily basis, hopefully, that you can build more business and business cases. So what we want to continue to do, and I'm glad that you're on the board, and I'm glad you're secretary, and I'm glad you like the chamber. We want to create more opportunities for everybody. And whether you're a small nonprofit and you're a single person shop, or you are, a large organization, I think there's something in it for everybody. I really do. And you'd mentioned the amount of events. We're now up to 75 events per year.
See, that's what I mean. And not to throw shade on any other chambers, it's just the events that Palm Beach Chamber of Commerce holds they're elevated. And as you say, it does meet who we are as a chamber and where we're located.
Yeah.
It's hard to beat that, to be totally honest. So that is where I truly believe the networking opportunities, the people you can meet, it's unlike any other.
It's amazing. Greg, thank you for coming in today. Thanks for being on the broadcast. If people want to reach you, what's the best way to reach your business? What's the phone number?
The phone number for Florida is 561-570-4777. My direct extension is 149, so you can reach me there. We have a 631 number, goes to the same office, whether it's New York or Florida. That's 631-661-6060.
Is there a website?
There is www.bawins.com.
That's easy, bawins.com.
BAW Insurance, like that.
I love it. I love it. It's really good. Greg, thanks for coming in. You've been listening to Doug Evans. I'm the president and CEO of the Palm Beach Chamber of Commerce. This is your Palm Beach Guide. We talk to our members. We talk behind the scenes. We try to give you a little bit of something of the flavor of what's going on here in town, and give you a chance to get to know who the people are. I mean, so many people are watching Palm Beach on the news on a daily basis, wondering what it's like here, and who the people are and what they do here. And we hope that you get a flavor of this every time you tune in to get your podcast. So tune in. We drop these every Wednesday, a new one every Wednesday. We've got a couple dozen, if not almost a year's worth out there. So drop in wherever you get your podcasts, tune in and take a look and take a listen. I'll be back with more guests on my next podcast, and thank you for tuning in. Have a great day.